I built the entire 10,000 crore company from just 1 lakh investment. And it took almost a year for me to build the entire platform. You as a own founder, you need to understand the product is indeed solving your own problem. And 2016, I called people in my room and we started giving that ESOP letter to everyone. And it was 150 people out of around 275 people. We give the 5% of our stock option to them. And that includes our office boys also and our drivers as well. And today our office boys are like crorepati's, you can say that.
Hello and namaste. We are here with a new series, Founder Diaries, where we take you through the entrepreneurial journeys of founders. Today, we have with us Rajdip Gupta, the founder of Route Mobile, a communication as a service company that was last valued at more than $1 billion when the Belgium-based Proximus group acquired a controlling stake last year. The company was built at a time when entrepreneurship was not even a buzzword. 2 decades, that is what it took Gupta and his brother to build Route Mobile. So let's hear from Rajdip on his journey. Rajdip, thank you for taking time and speaking to us. So just wanted to understand, how did your entrepreneurial journey start? What was that one idea or the moment when you thought that you would want to start off as an entrepreneur, something that you wanted to start it off?
Sonam, thank you for having me on the show. I think the entrepreneurship as a kid also, and I always wanted to do something of my own. And I still remember during my college time, I used to sell lots of softwares to different people, colleges, and I think the whole entrepreneurial journey started during my first year of graduation. And I think that's exactly where I realized the value that once you want to run your own business, you really need to have full command of it. But since we coming from a very small middle class family, for us in 2000 or 99, there is not much of opportunity to build something of your own. So I opted to just start working. So I'm a hardcore developer. I started my career as a software programmer. Worked with multiple companies. I worked for almost 6-7 years. My last assignment was with IBM in UK. And I was working in M2M, machine-to-machine learning innovation lab as a part of it. And during that time, I realized the potential of mobile phone. And I think developed country has that advantage where people started using mobile phone for interaction, alerts. And I realized that India or almost all the emerging countries, there is a huge gap. Let's talk about 2002, 2003, where incoming and outgoing call also was charged as 16 rupees. And how can I build something for my market like in India or Middle East? So I decided one fine day that I want to quit and I want to try something in life. And if I fail, I must have enough skill to get a job again. But that was not an easy decision because you having a very decent job in UK and all of a sudden you decide. Honestly, in 2003, it is a very tough job. It is not only coming from your friends, but your family also. Okay. How can you leave a well-settled job in UK and you come back to India? And India, there is no startup ecosystem in 2003. Okay. And unfortunately, just few years back, there was a dot-com burst, and everybody was like afraid of starting something. There was no funding available. And I think 2003, there is no startup ecosystem in India at all. But again, I said, no, I want to try. And it's definitely good to try and fail rather than always keep on thinking. I quit the job. One fine day, I just got up. I said, no, I'm resigning. And I think that was a good call. Came back to India and I realized that to start a business, you really need money. But I said, no, it is not about money. It is all about the product which you want to build. And 2003, I realized the gap because actually what has happened, I lost my credit card and somebody misused the credit card and I have no idea. I got an email saying that your credit card has been used by so and so amount, which I came to know after 6 hours when I got when I checked my email. And that's exactly where I realized there is a potential if banks start alerting all their customers that the moment credit card is used, and there is an alert coming to their phone. And I said, no, this is a big opportunity. So I said, okay, fine, I will try to build something in messaging, and this is what I want to build. I came back to India. Honestly, there is no money. We had some money, but we also wanted to secure the family, because middle class family, everything is like savings. So I just had 1 lakh rupees, honestly 1 lakh rupees to build the company. And I always share this, that I built the entire 10,000 crore company from just 1 lakh investment. And it took almost a year for me to build the entire platform. I had a 486 PC, which is a very normal PC. With that, I coded the entire platform myself. I spent almost 1 year to find out the first customer. But I always knew that whatever I'm building, it may have a good potential in future. And I think the first customer when we onboarded, the customer was like $12 customer coming from Egypt. And I built the product not for domestic market, I built the product for the global market. I knew that the market like Middle East, where this promotional things are very big, like if you go to UAE, there are lots of shopping festivals, there are lots of stores, people travel to Dubai for shopping during that time. So I think most of the small retailers or large retailers, they need to communicate their offer with their end user or the potential users. And I think that is one area which I felt, let's build something for that market. So the first platform which we built is for the Middle East market. And just to share, like year one, we did a revenue of 1 crore with 50 lakh as a profit. So that is a journey which I started alone. And I think 2003 is like I think we are fortunate enough to have a customer. But again, I always knew that the product which I'm building has a huge demand in the market. And
where did that insight come from?
See, again, I always tell all the entrepreneur, like when you build a product, you always need to think as a customer also. First of all, you need to be customer of your own product. Is your product solving your problem? So it is not that you need to go and have a word with 20 different customers. You need 20 different customers to understand whether your product is good or bad. You as a own founder, you need to understand the product is indeed solving your own problem. That was the first thing, understanding by that credit card scenario. I realized it is going to solve my problem. So that thing is actually activated, and I think from there on I really realized there is a huge potential which is coming from market, and if I really work on it, it will create value. And I think we really got few customers from our end, and I think year one was a success, and I think we started believing that this is how I need to pursue and this will work for me.
You had a lot of self-belief in the kind of product that you were creating and also the need for it in the market. But how difficult was it to convince your first customer? Because banks, they're very picky and choosy, and back then, of course, credit cards or even debit cards was just starting off, not just in India, but globally. So how did that happen? How did you convince them that, see, here is a rookie company who's trying to change the world?
Yeah, I think it was impossible for me to just go and onboard a bank year one, right? I really wanted to scale my platform so that there is enough operator connectivity we had, and plus we have enough customer who's actually using our platform. It took almost 3 years after our inception, we got the first bank as a customer. Mm-hmm. But in the meantime, what we did, like we established a direct connectivity with all the Middle East operators, all the African operators. I travel all across Africa, all across Middle East, and start spending lots of time with operators. Because in our business, the operator partnership is very critical. And I really convinced them. And I think the reason we able to convince that, because we built a platform called as a reseller and distributor. Because I realized that I don't have a salespeople with me right now. And if I start hiring sales right now, I might need lots of investment. Because to start paying their salaries, to run their entire operation, I need lots of cash for that. So what I did, for year one, we built a reseller platform, a white label reseller platform, which started enabling the small retailers in their region to start our product to the larger retailers. And I think that really helped us. And we started charging $500 per reseller fees. And you will not believe, in year two, I think we had 700 resellers in Africa, Asia and Middle East. Then they all paid $500 per reseller. And what they wanted is like a white label platform which looks like their own platform, and they're selling and going and selling in the market. Year 3, we had 700 resellers who are actually using my platform and they're selling my connectivity, but they're not paid salespeople from Route Mobile. And I think that really worked well, and later on we enhanced our platform to create a distributor platform which enables all the reseller to become the distributor themselves. So the smaller reseller become larger because of the connects and their market reach, and I think they started becoming a distributor. So year 4 and 5, if you see, we had almost 250 distributors and over 1,000 resellers. So I think that really helped Route Mobile to grow faster and start making rollouts of revenue in terms of fixed amount of $500 or $1,000 for distributor. And if you talk about 700 into 500, it's almost $350,000, which is like for my product. So I think that is how we really built our product, and we got a huge success. I can always tell that being an early mover in this space during that time really helped us. And we always knew, like, if I really want to start offering my services to bank or large enterprise, I really need to have a direct partnership with operators. Because of this reseller distributor, we are able to generate enough volume on our platform. So we went back to the operators saying that we as a company are generating millions of transactions through our platform. Now I want to have a direct partnership with you. And I think most of the operators, they saw the potential in Route Mobile, and that's why they started directly working with Route Mobile. And I think that's a basic strategy of Route Mobile to go global. And just to share, Route Mobile started India operation in 2016. Before that, we were always global company and always serving the global customer. And our platforms are well tested, tried and tested in the global market. When we came to India in 2016, in the next 8 years, we are almost now 25% market share in India also.
Why did it take you so long to come to India?
So India, honestly, as a market was not very, very lucrative, till 2016, where SMS pricing was like 1 paisa, 2 paisa, and to serve the large enterprise customer for that kind of a margin, you really need huge amount of salespeople, customer support, tech. To serve them with no margin doesn't make any sense for my business, because I think it is very critical for me to always remain as a profitable company. So we are profitable from year 1, and till today, we can tell you that we are always a profitable company. So in 2016, there was a shift, and there was a price increase happened in India, and there are the international messages got a different norms called as international ILDO messages, where the pricing is gone all the way to 2 to 3 cents. And then I realized this is the right market for me, and I know my platforms have already been tested by lots of enterprises globally, and India is the right market for me. And that's why we entered in 2016.
Rajdip, it is very interesting that you mentioned that you never thought of raising external capital. And I remember in 2007-8, when a lot of private equity and VC funds were being set up in India, there was enough cash available in the market, and they were searching for good stories like yours. How difficult was it to not fall for that lure, and what led to this conviction that you can do without external capital?
So I worked in a previous company who raised fund, and I have seen the founders struggling with investors or VC fund. Honestly, I want to be very blunt on those points, because amount of time they used to spend with these VC guys every week. So I think those calls are very annoying, and I can see the expression coming from those guys. One thing I realized, I will raise if required, but not at the early stage, because I really want to grow my business. I want to make decisions faster. The moment you have somebody on board, you become a label, then it's fine. And honestly, at that time, we had enough cash in our bank, right? In fact, we were looking out to acquire company. Rather than there was no requirement as such that we want to raise fund. But I have seen with some of my friends also that 2009, 2008, I don't know. I don't want to comment on any VC as such. But I think the amount of time they started working with those investors, they actually lost some certain focus, to put more effort on their own business. And I said, no, it's not the right time for me, to actually get into those. Whatever we are doing is working well. I might go slow. I definitely, if a VC comes and some investment come, you will get lots of connect, you will grow faster. So all these things is definitely, yes, the advantage of having a VC, and we will get lots of guidance. I said, fine, I think that is fair, but I really want to grow slow. The idea is to remain profitable, and if we do things right, there is a huge opportunity in the future. Maybe we can get listed. So 2009, 2010, we had this idea of getting listed. Honestly, I just thought that's the best way to create wealth for every single person in the organization. And I think that's what we started thinking in 2010.
You said 2009, 8-9 was when you decided that probably taking the company public was the best outcome. So what took you almost a decade to really, set that plan rolling?
So I think the aim as a founder, myself and Sandeep, we had that idea in 2009, 2010, and we were a little bit reluctant. Like, if I go in the market, people will laugh on us. Honestly, right? And so we took that idea in ourselves for 3-4 years. In 2014, we decided, this is the time now. We really need to prepare ourselves to be ready for a market. Because getting listed in India is not that easy. Honestly, It's not easy at all. And we prepare ourselves for 6 years. So that preparation requires to have your compliance team, you have corporate governance team, have your proper CFO. So all this thing, when you're growing fast, right, you ignore so many things in that journey.
Correct.
And you do so many things yourself, and you say, I will manage everything as a micromanagement. So I think we really thought, no, this is the time we really need to get rid of this. If you're talking about a public company, there has to be a team to run these things. And we started building that team. We set up the whole compliance team. We set up the whole finance team, the operations team. So I think now it took almost 6 years to build that. And we never shared that information to our team. Okay, I said, this is what we are building. And they said, why are you doing this? This is because we are planning to raise fund. And that's one message I gave it to all my team members. So this is the organization we have to build. And 2016, I called people in my room, and we started giving that ESOP letter to everyone. And it was 150 people out of around 275 people. We give the 5% of our stock option to them, and that includes our office boys also, and our drivers as well. And today our office boys are like crorepati's, you can say that. But I always believe that every single person in your organization contributes in your success. I always say that you get energy every single day because you've been served a coffee or tea on time by those boys. And so they are activating you every 2 hours, and they are also contributing the journey of your success. And there's a big article in Economist Times which covered that how much money our office boys have made post IPO. And 2016, when I gave this piece of paper to all of them, half of them believe this is just a piece of paper, but there are people who said, no, Rajdip, this is going to work, and we are there with you. And then the rest of the story, I think we really worked well. But again, there's a positive and negative part. We launched our IPO. We got the approval from SEBI. The market didn't work in our favor. We have to drop the idea of IPO. One fine day, I said, guys, this is not done. And it is I've already committed to my people, and they were all looking towards me. The IPO is filed, IPO has got approved, and all of a sudden there is no buyer in the market. And then I say that I learn from my failure. It is not that I go back and I say, oh, I'm just going through the depression. It is not like that. I really believe that every single failure of your life gives you a learning lesson. You have to learn from it. So whatever mistake we have done during that first attempt, we try to overcome every single time. We got the right people, we got the right bankers. And I said, fine. After 4 months or 6 months, I said, okay, I'm filing the papers again. And this time, I want to make sure we change the entire pitch deck. What we do, how we solve the problem. And I think that really works well. And finally, 2020, we got listed.
Right.
And that's another success story, COVID time getting listed and oversubscribed by 73 times.
You spoke about going on holidays, and it's very important that work-life balance is maintained, because a founder's job is so high-stress job that you need to disassociate, periodically to unwind. How do you manage that? What are the things that excite you other than work?
So see, there are lots of stuff, but again, honestly, most of the founders, they may relate to this. For a founder's life, right, there's a hardly work-life balance, honestly. If somebody says that, okay, I'm able to maintain that work-life balance, it is fake. It is not going to be possible. I know how many times I have missed my kids' PTM. I know how many anniversary and how many birthdays I have missed, and so it is, you have to go through that period, and the kind of sacrifice you do yourself, but at the same time, your family members also do huge sacrifice around you. And I think big salute to them, because they are also the founder of these such companies where they are understanding what exactly you're trying to create and not complaining about it. I know I have 3 daughters. The first 2 daughters, I didn't get enough chance to see that, how they grew. But thanks to COVID, for my third daughter, at least I spent 2 years with them, and I really understood the value of parenting, But again, I think it's a very tough life for a founder, and somebody says that I do that work-life balance, then you are an investor. The only people who can do a better work-life balance is the investors. You invest, you relax, and just give a call what's happening. Otherwise, you're a founder or a CEO, you don't have a work-life balance. You have to struggle. Till the time you're there in the company, you're running the company, your struggle continues. Simple as that.
2020, in the thick of COVID, you list your company, and 3 years from them, you decide to give up a controlling stake to a Belgium-based company. How did the deal with Proximus happen? How did the handshake happen?
So, as a founder, you need to also understand what is your limitation, right? You have tried something, but something which you're trying is taking more time. And the market is changing, the competition is changing faster than what you expect. So is there a way you can pivot that? So we try to attempt to set up our US operations multiple times in last 20 years, and every single time we failed. And I think it never worked well with us to have that kind of setup in US. And I always knew that the potential what US and Europe brings to our communication business, if I don't get those markets at the right time, I might be just left like what I am today, or I will have a growth story of 10%, 15%. But I really need to grow, and I really need to create that larger scale for the organization. And so the moment Proximus came for the discussion, the first thing I asked the question, see guys, we are listed. I own 60% of the company. We are $1.2 billion market cap company. Why should I sell? And he said the first thing, we are based out of US. One of the largest company they own called as Telesign. One of the largest mobility company they own called as Bix. And you Route Mobile. So you guys are champion of Asia, Africa, and LATAM, and we are champion of Europe and US. We come together, then you see what kind of story we can create. And that really clicked. I said, yes, this is right. I'm trying to build something from a very long time, and I'm not able to get through that. And I said, fine, it makes sense. So people may be thinking that I'm completely exited. I made $730 million exit. I said, the first question I said, no guys, I'm not going to sell everything to you guys. I'm still 46, 47, and I still have that energy to run the company. The only request I have that I want to reinvest back to the whole group. And they agreed to that. As of today, we own almost 15% of the combined holdco, which is Telesign and Route Mobile. And they agreed to that. And I said, I want to run the whole show myself. Not only Route Mobile, but Telesign as well. And they agreed. So today, it's almost $1 billion revenue comes under me, only on communication space, which is, so now we operate from 44 countries, over 1,600 people as a group. And out of that, around 1,500 people based all across the globe, and they report to me. And as a 3 company coming together, the kind of value we can create for the global market and the kind of potential we can bring to any customer, I think that's humongous. And even I think in next 1 or 2, 3 years down the line, you will see our revenue growth, our EBITDA growth, everything will be very exciting for us. And that's the reason I just said, no, this is the right partner. And sometimes the founder needs to understand, either you want to raise money or people took that very differently, that we exited, we sold the company. It's not like that. I'm very much involved.
So you've reinvested every penny that you
No, we reinvested 300 million euros, about $350 million. So 3,000 crore we reinvested back. And idea is very simple. If I'm able to get company listed in BSE or NSE, there is a huge potential to list this combined entity in NASDAQ with the help of Proximus, with the help of Telesign in US. So that's one of the dream for every founder. So once I got listed in stock exchange, I think that is the highest dream a founder can have, right? And then you can run. The next dream for any Indian founder is to go to NASDAQ, and I think that shows me a ray of light that this could be a possibility.
How far are we from a NASDAQ listing?
It's too early to comment. Honestly, too early to comment. There are lots of synergy needs to build. There are lots of work has to be done. As I said, it really requires more compliance things to be there. But as a founder, I have a vision to do that. But very soon, maybe in a year or two, we will come to know. But we do have a plan. If it all works well, probably we will get listed very soon.
Around the time of a liquidity event where, either a founder sells partial stake or, a complete entity, there is this urge to reinvest in the market, not just in the company, but probably, to a way to pay it forward. So there are a lot of founders who've taken to angel investing. There are a lot of founders who are trying to back. So other than this, what are your interests? Are you investing?
Yes.
What is the end game?
So I'm investing heavily. There are a few investments we have made in recent time. At the same time, I also have a different investment philosophy. See, I think investment and founding company is, limited to certain league of people today. But in India, there are huge amount of talent in tier 1 and tier 2 and tier 3 cities. These talents are never getting the right opportunity. So what we did, we started a Virar Hub, incubation center, where we are funding every single good idea at 10 lakh rupees without equity. If you have an idea, if we like your idea, we'll fund you without equity. And you build your ideas at Virar Hub, we will provide you the space also there. And if you believe that this idea is more getting better and better, and then we actually go and invest and try to take equity. And I'm going to put another 10 to 15 crore where I'm going to just fund tier 2, tier 3 founders to live their vision. And that is exactly what I'm building. And I think giving back to the society is fine, but there are lots of founders who are struggling to get the right mentor also. So if I can create a hub like this, Virar Hub, or something different like this in other part of India, I think that India has a huge talent, right? And I keep on sharing. Previously, India is known for cricket, corruption, and computers, and now India is also known for cricket, computer, and corruption, plus courage and conviction. So this courage and conviction is going to come more from tier 3 cities, and I think people are there, they are having better talent. The only problem they're lacking is they don't have the right mentorship or right team to support them. Okay. So I'm investing, yes, on a mainstream investment. We did some investment in company like Biryani by Kilo, looking out for another 10-15 investment. Definitely we have a plan of invest over 200 to 300 crore, which we already have an investment company called as Clear Bridge. So Clear Bridge is completely dedicated to startup investment, and we are trying to identify such company. I'm just recently became part of Mumbai Angels and looking out for better ideas. But I think officially we will launch our own fund of about 300 to 400 crore, where we want to start funding the ideas which are very, very different. And the founders should qualify based on their talent, with their skill, but from where they're coming is not something which we want to see, honestly.
For a founder, and this is a little offbeat question, but how important is spirituality or a force that should help you carry forward? Because I'm sure there are dark days that, where you're really bogged down, or there are challenges that you're not able to really come through. So how do you find that inner strength?
It's a very good question. So I think I really appreciate your question. Very few people ask this question about spirituality. So you should always believe there is something called a supernatural power around you, right? every single day when you get up, you get that strength that I want to go back to the office. And every single time when you feel low, there is somebody who's saying that, no, you can do it today, go back. So I think there is a supernatural power. You name it as a god, you name it as whatever you want. Spiritually, some people get those through yoga, some people wants to do more concentration through all this thing. But I think for a founder's life, spirituality is a part of it, right? Every single time you struggle, and you have lots of challenges in your life. And I always believe that for a founder, if you're doing the right thing and you are doing the right job for the community, for the people around you, there will be some kind of a power around you who will always motivate you. So I think for me, spirituality is all about believing in the right thing. Like I always believe that karman me radhika vaste ma phalesu kadachana, which means that do your duties, don't wait for the result. And I think as a founder, I think I've always believed in that. My spirituality is all about Lord Krishna, and I say whatever verse of Gita, you can learn a lot from them. Every single time when you feel low, go and read those verses again, and that gives you strength.
Right. On that note, we'll end this interview. Thank you so much, Rajdip, for making time. It was really wonderful talking to you.
Thanks, Anand. Thank you.